I'm Angus Ferguson, Director of Agent Solutions, powered by Domain. You're listening to the Proptech Insider podcast, a podcast that features the real estate industry's top leaders, thinkers, and influencers. On today's episode of the Proptech Insider podcast, we welcome Jason Adcock, Principal of Adcock Prestige. Jason is established as an industry leader who is synonymous for setting new benchmarks in prestige property, has a track record of selling some of Brisbane's finest and most prestigious homes. Jason, thanks for joining us today.
No problems. Happy to be here.
Well, let's jump straight into it. One of the first questions is around, you put a huge emphasis on integrated digital technology and particularly around the marketing efforts that you do within the prestige markets that you operate in.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about the strategy and how you go about implementing those solutions as well.
No problems at all. We spent about $1 million on social media last year over platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Google Display Ads, and LinkedIn. And basically, we have a number of different companies that help us with this targeted digital marketing. So every single property that we take to the market, we make a bespoke campaign as far as the targeted audiences and also obviously the content.
Yep.
I mean, the content that we're pushing out to these bespoke audiences are, a combination of videos, stills. We're even doing a TikTok style video these days, which only goes from 18 to 23 seconds, because what you've got to understand is you've got a very limited time to engage your public, and it really acts as a directional board back to your website. So if you don't engage those people with that content, you're not going to get them looking at the particular properties that you're selling.
It's so interesting that you mentioned that, because we obviously, one of our platforms is the digital auction product, and the ability is to stream it. What we find a lot of is that people skip to the last 10 seconds because they want to see the result of the property.
Absolutely.
Of whether it passed in or sold. They want that immediacy. They don't want to watch it for 20 minutes is what we found often. So it completely relates to what you're saying, we've had to pivot to. But outside of a strong digital presence, how have you gone about building such a long-term, sustainable and profitable business over the course of your career?
Well, I've been in real estate nearly 30 years. So I used to be the youngest person in real estate when I started back in the early 90s. Now I'm one of the older veterans of the game. Yeah. But look, the thing that I probably did at a very early stage in my career is I decided to go after a niche part of the market, and that was prestige. So like the first property that I ever sold nearly 30 years ago was $550,000, and that was a property on Pullenvale Road at Pullenvale. That same property today is worth well over $3 million. So I cut my teeth on prestige from the get-go. I got a taste for it. Yep. And my God, those types of properties, you can put everything into the marketing. You get excited about showing them. You get paid really, really well when you sell them. And look, everyone's got a very interesting story. But the thing that's probably kept me front and center and the longevity in this game is you've got to have a genuine love for this business. Yeah. You've got to love everything about it. But the thing that I love the most is the marketing, coming up with all the different strategies that you can use to get these properties sold. And look, at the end of the day, we've got massive, strong digital marketing presence out there in the marketplace at the moment. But the surprising thing that's come back, and you probably don't want to hear this, is print. Print had the biggest resurgence that I've ever seen in all my life last year.
What do you think's driven that?
Technology's driven that because we've got the QR codes on every single ad.
Gotcha.
So if you look at the print marketing, the Courier Mail, it's up 38% since the beginning of COVID. And what's happened is, because of that QR code, if they like the picture, they scan the QR code, they're straight into their website, it opens up at the video, and away they go. So technology is probably the reason why print has taken off again.
So over your 30 years, you would have seen a lot of transformation around technology. Yep. What are some of the trends that you think are emerging, firstly? Yep. And then what are some of the trends that you think need to work a bit harder for you in terms of supporting your business through the next evolution of growth?
Look, we're really all over that. I mean, one thing that I've always tried to do in my entire career is to make sure that we stay relevant in every factor of the business. Yep. Last year, we spent nearly $800,000 or $900,000 rebranding, redoing our website, investing in technology to gear us up for this digital age.
Yep.
So what I'm doing in the marketplace at the moment is people go to an open house, they scan the QR code at the front.
Yep.
25 minutes later, our artificial intelligence is starting communicating with them via my mobile phone, asking me if they had any further interest in the property and whether they would like to make an offer.
Yep.
There's also a link there that goes in there and they can do their offer and bang, they can sign it digitally all within a matter of minutes. So we implemented that around about 8 or 9 months ago.
Yep.
The leverage that it's given us in the marketplace is profound.
And I suppose to that point, the leverage it gives you is that means that you have more time to have the human connection component to
Absolutely.
it instead of spending time on going back to the office to send that email to get the information back to them.
The thing that has surprised me the most is the buyers love it. They prefer you to communicate with them via text rather than you calling them. They can control the narrative. And it's unbelievable. The feedback they give you because they don't want to buy it is great because you can give that feedback to the seller.
Yep.
But then on the other turn of the coin is they can press the button and they can submit a digital offer on it straight away. So there's not a lot of agents doing that in the marketplace in Brisbane.
No.
But we've been doing that for the last 8 or 9 months. It has had a profound effect on our business. We tripled our income in the last 12 months utilising these new age strategies.
That's amazing. I guess one of the things with that is there's a lot of technology now, over 350 Proptech companies now in Australia.
Yep.
One of the things that we see is a reluctancy sometimes from customers or agencies, and particularly around what's friend or foe. And so what inevitably happens is they don't make a decision around any kind of technology. What kind of advice would you give to those people about how they're assessing or thinking about adopting technology into their business?
It's very simple. It gets down to what the customer wants. You've got to give them what they want. And what they want out there is a stress-free, easy transaction. If you can provide the fundamentals for them with the technology that you adopt into your business, the public will love it. And you'll end up, if you focus hard, you'll end up writing 3 times the amount of business like we did because we implemented that technology. So we make it easy for them to make an offer. We make it easy for them to give us feedback. We make it easy for them to be able to view the whole features and facets of the property via their mobile phone. Most of our technology is based around the mobile phone rather than the desktop because our statistics are showing that 85% of our clientele in that high-end space through Brisbane would prefer to use their mobile device than a desktop. So all of our technology is based around that user experience. Like we've even got on our website at the moment, on every single page, including the front page, the instant price to estimate that's put out through Domain Group and Price Finder. That has had a profound effect on sellers wanting to deal with it. What we've done is we've branded it through Adcock Prestige. Within 15 seconds of them giving us their details, they've got a pretty accurate idea of what their property is worth with a suburb report. And look, there's also a disclaimer in there to say, well, if you don't think the price estimate is accurate, we'd love to come out and see you and give you a more accurate estimate. So that's had a profound impact on the way that we market ourselves out there, and it's free. They don't have to pay for it.
It's just a part of the experience that they get through.
It's part of the experience. Our whole modus operandi is about giving the client an experience that is worthwhile and gives them what they want, not what we want.
And I suppose to that point as well is that information's out there. They're going to go and make a decision based on the information as to whether you give it to them or the competitor or they just go and find it themselves. But it's about the experience that you go beyond that.
Absolutely.
That next evolution or that next step beyond. Once they've got the information, how do you help them to make the action, take action to make an offer or to sell their home?
Absolutely. And look, all of these little tweaks that we've added to the business has just made the user experience at another level. And let's face it, a lot of this technology has been around 4 or 5 years. The real estate industry is just very slow on the uptake. I like what I saw, and it has always been about the customer. You give the customer a great user-friendly experience and give them what they want, you'll get more business because you're easy to deal with.
And I think that's the expectation the customer has. It's beyond actually what they want. It's what they expect.
Absolutely.
They go and jump in a cab, they book it straight on Uber and it comes in real time. There's no communication. There's no need to actually contact anyone. They want the same seamless experience when they buy and sell real estate through you now as well.
Absolutely. If you can't provide the same level of experience that BMW does or Uber does or Qantas does, they're rating you at a subpar agent. You need to be on the same level with your technology, and that's why we saw it was something that was an absolute must that we had to have within our business.
We always ask 2 questions for anyone who comes on the Proptech Insider. The first one for you, Jason, is what's your definition of success?
Well, my definition of success may be different to other people, but it's doing what you absolutely love, waking up every day and being excited about going to work, but also being able to provide a level of security for your family and be able to help them do what they want to do. That's my definition of success.
Awesome. And final question for you is what's one thing that you're going to start, stop and continue this year?
Start, stop and continue. Well, one thing that I am going to start doing is we are expanding. So I'm just about to hop on a limo to go down the Gold Coast. We've launched Adcock Prestige on the Gold Coast.
Congratulations.
And we will be launching in Noosa in around about 5 months. So that's one thing that I'm definitely starting this year. We're expanding our Prestige brand throughout Southeast Queensland. And what I'm going to stop, I'm probably going to stop worrying about the market and just do the best I can for my clients.
And what about continue?
Continue striving for excellence with our brand.
Amazing. Well, Jason, thank you for your contribution over the last 30 years and congratulations on today's success and future success with the new businesses that you're opening down the coast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Proptech Insider. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about improving your workflow, visit agentsolutions.com.au.